Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what Zillow is saying to home buyers and home sellers as far as what should they do right now to navigate the housing market. And I know what you guys are thinking, why on earth would we be listening to Zillow when they lost hundreds of millions of dollars at the end of 2021 due to the fact they were purchasing real estate with their Zestimate. So their Zestimate was basically telling them what to offer for real estate. They crashed hard. But the important thing is this, and here's why we're really accessing data. They're massive players in the housing market, and they have a substantial amount of data. So we're going to analyze that today. Towards the end of this video, I'm also going to access excess savings, and we're going to look at credit tightening because those are really, really important factors moving forward in this housing market. We'll dig into all of that stuff, and at the very end, I'll tell you guys what I plan on doing next as far as my own home buying journey now that I've read this information from Zillow. But I really think what you guys are really going to love is when we dig into excess savings and I show you guys just how much excess savings we really have. And the fact is, guys, we're about 75% done with excess savings. That's right. About 75% of excess savings from consumers is now spent. 75%, you guys. So really wild. Really hope you guys enjoy this. But remember, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a normal, struggling renter. I'm not smart. I'm just a crash bro. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I will say, nevertheless, I am sitting out this housing market. I'm waiting to find the deal of my dreams. And if you guys follow along my channel, you'll also understand that I'm trying to provide you guys with tools and ammunition so that y'all learn how to find the deal of your dreams during a time when there is so much dust in the air. And if you guys can, please help me grow my channel. I don't know what's going on with YouTube right now, but if you guys can, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, shoot me a comment below. But either way, you guys, we're going to jump into Zillow right now and then access all the other data. And I really hope y'all enjoy. The name of the Zillow article is Navigating Today's Market, What Home Buyers and Sellers Need to Know. And this is according to Zillow. Mind you, Zillow's a huge company, y'all. A lot of people still go to Zillow and only Zillow to get housing market news. Isn't that wild? But either way, guys, here's what this is saying. Here's what Zillow is saying. And it's not too bad, but I think it's interesting to pay attention. Now, home buyers are going to see more competition than they might expect. Not because there are a huge number of buyers to compete with, but because there aren't many homes on the market to go around. So I wanted to talk real quick, you guys, about inventory. Let me show you the updated inventory report. So here's our updated Fred economic data housing inventory active unit counts. And honestly, guys, it only went up about 1,000 units. So you can see from March to April, it only went up 1,000 units. Now, historically, we get about 50,000 units, not 1,000. So a lot less people, and that's proven here, a lot less people, and this is the truth, listed their houses. And if you see here from March to April in 2018, okay, about 50,000. Also in 2019, from March to April, about 35,000 units. And if we go back here in 2017, from March to April, we had about 40,000 units as well. So we only had 1,000, which means, yes, there are less people right now listing their homes for sale. Home buyers are motivated and are keen to hit the market this spring. Are they really though? Or is it just like fear of missing out? Even through a period of change, unlike any we have ever seen. And that is a new attitude from Zillow. At least they're acknowledging like what we're going through right now is something that we have never seen. And this is probably why last year in 2022, Zillow made so many errors. But let's read on. Mortgage rates are not only high, but volatile, which makes it hard for buyers to know what they can afford. While buyers are showing up, affordability challenges and limited options contribute to a frustrating experience. And that is exactly what's going on right now. I will credit Zillow with getting that part right. There are a lot of buyers, potential buyers, just like myself, that are absolutely frustrated and on the sidelines. But I'm not frustrated because of these things. I'm frustrated because people aren't paying attention to all of the warning signs and red flags that are all over the economy right now and are just pouring in still to the housing market. So again, We'll look at excess savings here in a minute. And this is an issue. Now, sellers or lack thereof are the bigger factor in this current market. New listings are increasing as they almost always do this time of year, and they'll probably continue to increase probably until about October, but only time will tell. But not nearly as quickly as usual. So we had a slower, much slower increase in inventory to start this year. And that is a fact, y'all. High mortgage rates affect sellers too, who have largely decided not to trade in their current mortgage for a new one with a much higher interest rate. Homes priced correctly have a good chance to sell quickly, just not at light speed that was common last year. And y'all remember how bad it was last year? It started out pretty bad this year, but not in every metro area. Like last year was pretty much every single metro area completely wrecked, y'all. At least right now, it's only some metro areas that are still experiencing such insane demand. Homes priced correctly have a good chance to sell quickly, just not at light speed that was common last year. The median time on the market for homes that sell in 17 days, while homes that haven't sold have been on the market for 50 days. Probably means that those really valuable houses are going to have run-ups and bidding wars for the time being in some metro areas, again, until excess savings runs out, in my opinion. Sellers need to price right from the start and focus on online curb appeal if they want to sell quickly, and that's always the case when you're selling your house. Now, looking ahead, mortgage rates will likely continue to have the biggest impact on market conditions. If mortgage rates fall, expect the market to heat up. If mortgage rates rise or remain volatile, they will freeze buyer and seller activity. And I'll say that interest rates are definitely a huge factor. But right now, you guys, regardless of the historical unaffordability, right? It's like almost clear that it's a trap to own a house right now. You're probably going to be locked in your house for 7 to 10 years chasing equity. Okay, that's probably going to happen right now. But I believe the biggest thing that's fueling demand right now, fueling people purchasing, is the excess savings topped with consumer sentiment. Okay, and that's quickly going down. Both of those things are quickly going down. But I noticed a drastic change in sentiment and in the market pretty much immediately after the Federal Reserve bailed out the banks. And there's pumped in about, listen guys, about $800 billion right now bailing out banks. Okay. That is what, 2 or 3 times more than the bailout in 2009. Okay, or 2008, 2009. So right now, right under our faces, right under our noses, the Federal Reserve is doing quantitative easing in the banking system. And ask yourself this, y'all, if they didn't do that, wouldn't we have a much worse situation right now? Wouldn't consumer sentiment still be like, oh, I'm not going to buy, there's too much danger in the market? And on top of that, if they let the banks fail, wouldn't we have even more credit tightening right now? Do y'all see my point? So the Fed is working against themselves is the best way for me to describe it. But again, interest rates are important, but there are many other factors. I do agree, though, that interest rates are very, very important. But so is our mindset and excess savings. I look at excess savings as consumers having a loaded gun. So there's consumers with excess savings in the form of a loading gun, right? And say they're hunting to get food. And what they're doing is they got one bullet and they're shooting the first rabbit that goes across the field instead of saving the bullet for, some animal that's huge, like a deer, right? My point is the lack of patience is ruining people, at least in my opinion. Nevertheless, credit is tightening, just not at the pace that I believe it's necessary to stop people from purchasing houses. But let me pull up a Fed economic chart so we can really analyze credit tightening right now. All right, so this is our net percentage of domestic banks tightening standards for credit card loans. So this is just credit cards right now. Obviously, credit cards, auto loans got hit. I just wanted to kind of show you, as of about Q3 of 2022, it's been skyrocketing upward. And if we go back to the left of this chart here, and we see credit tightening happened in Q3 of 2000, you can see that here it was low and then it went up. And then obviously a recession followed as well. Back in 2007, credit was pretty loose. They tightened up credit during a recession. Thing here, back in 2020, they tightened up credit. That was following a recession, and then boom, look at how loose credit was right here for so long, and now they've tightened up credit once again. And more than likely, you guys, if we look at historical trends, we're headed for a recession. I mean, there are so many economic factors right telling us recession. And here's the important thing to understand about recession. Recession will generally create unemployment. I don't want people to get unemployed. I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. And I have no part of it, quite frankly. What's really interesting to note, you guys, is unemployment and mortgage delinquency almost track together entirely, like the 10-year and the 30-year mortgage. So right now, if we have historical low unemployment, obviously, what else do we have historical low right now? Delinquencies on mortgages, except the FHA. FHA is over 10% delinquency for the last 4 months. So FHA, delinquent, but I'm saying all of the other loans, we're not going to see massive delinquencies in mortgages until we hit recession and until we have job loss. And here's what's important to understand is generally the job loss starts getting out of control and the Federal Reserve cannot control job loss. When that happens, we can pretty much guarantee that will fuel additional price crashes in the housing market. So let's take a look at this economic research paper by the Federal Reserve of San Francisco that was released less than 1 week ago. This is about excess savings. It will be in my description. And really what I want to point out here is they've estimated that about $2.1 trillion through August 2021 was the peak of our excess savings. So back in August of 2021, we had excess savings. Consumers had excess savings of $2.1 trillion. But you guys can see in this graph here on the bottom here, it shot up obviously pre-pandemic, how money printing, stimulus, all of these types of things, lockdowns, and shortly after it has been plummeting. So you guys can see that right here. But the question is just how much has it plummeted at all? And if we take a look at the conclusion here, and I won't bore you guys too much, but let me read a couple paragraphs here of the conclusion. Now, U.S. households accumulated excess savings at an unprecedented speed following the onset of the pandemic recession relative to other post-1970 recessions, despite recent rapid drawdowns of those savings. A large amount, around $500 billion, remains in the overall economy. So here's the good news, y'all. About 75% of that excess savings is gone. And we really have to take excess savings into consideration because it's fueling consumer spending. And we never had any situation like this. And if you really think about it, it is astonishing that the excess savings is essentially beating down other factors like unaffordability. Now, obviously, there's a limited amount of supply. Only the good houses are selling. But nevertheless, there are still a tremendous amount of people out there spending their money because that excess savings, y'all, is burning a hole in their pocket. And here's the thing, y'all. Here's the great thing about it. Like I said, 75% already gone. We have historical high auto debt, credit card debt, super high inflation. Everyone is struggling right now. How much longer do you think that's going to last? I doubt we get to the end of this year. Now, that article is basically saying there's enough excess savings to get us through Q4 of 2023. So they're saying consumers are still going to keep spending until 2024, and then it's going to be all gone. Now, ask yourself, y'all, when the excess savings is gone, what's going to fuel purchasing? Okay? What's going to fuel purchasing? There's nothing going to fuel purchasing. The only reason people are purchasing right now is because they still have the ability to. And again, after the Federal Reserve bailed out the banks, I think that messed up people's head. I think they're like, oh my God, I missed the boat. The Federal Reserve is just going to print money. Let's just send it. And you know what? It's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And I think that's what we want to pay attention to this. A lot of people think that houses are assets right now. It's a great hedge against inflation, but people need to understand that these assets come with a massive debt in the form of a mortgage. And you're paying most of your interest up front. Over 80 of millennial first-time buyers in 2023 already have home buying regret. Y'all do me a favor, please. Comment below and let me know, do you think that we should listen to realtors, or maybe do y'all think that we should listen to the people that actually purchased a home? Let me know what y'all think. Should we listen to realtors or consumers that just purchased? Please comment below. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Now, in conclusion, here's what I'm going to do with this information. I'm not going to do anything with it. I think it's absolute garbage, but it does tell us what's going on in the current housing market. Now, here's what I'm doing in my personal journey, y'all, and you guys may want to do the same. I don't know, but this is what I'm doing. I'm using market analysis to figure out if I can find a great deal. So if I find a house that I love, I start running what's called a market analysis on that subject property subdivision, and I go back for 4 years just to see whether or not that home is priced right. Because I don't want to buy real estate right now that is essentially over 2020 values. In fact, I want to buy real estate that's under 2019 values. But regardless, you guys, what I'm saying is use the data to find the deal, not your emotion. One great way to do that is market analysis. And a market analysis is using live active data to basically give you a report on that specific local housing market. And it has the ability to access sold comparable homes, which is really important to review when determining the value of your house. But nevertheless, you guys, here's the thing. Don't use your emotions. Understand the excess savings is going bye-bye, and probably we're having the surge of buying, not only because of seasonality and not only because of the excess savings, but that bank bailout, I think, really took us several steps back. But other than that, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Send me a comment below. I've updated my email. If you guys have any stories or any articles you want me to make a video about or anything of that nature, just email me. Or if you have any questions, I'm responding to my email now. And other than that, you guys, I really appreciate you following along this journey with me. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.